The company I was working for, honestly, they had the best of intentions around diversity and inclusion, but it felt like to me that the more we were doing in this space, I felt like it was actually making things worse. The leaders, the majority of whom were white men, were over here on one side, and then all the other groups, women, African American, Black, Hispanic, Asian Pacific, LGBT, these groups were over here. And it just felt like there was this divide that was growing between the groups. The white men felt judged. They didn't know what they were doing wrong. And if somebody would just tell them, they would stop. And the other groups were frustrated in feeling that they weren't getting an opportunity to live their potential. And it was a very frustrating place to be. And so I decided to look to the outside. Luckily, we had a really strong leader internally who introduced me to Bill Proudman and White Men as Full Diversity Partners. And so decided to bring Bill in to meet with this leadership group that I was a part of. And he literally spent only 4 hours walking through some of the key principles that he teaches. And I will never forget, after those 4 hours, one of the men turned to me and he said, "Susan, I got more in these 4 hours than I have in 10 years of our company doing this work." And when this particular leader said that to me, I honestly felt like the sunlight was shining down on the team. And it was a path of inspiration and a path of positive and productive partnership in a way that I've never, ever seen done before. I then followed up in a conversation with the president. And I said, "Look, I highly recommend that you and I attend the 3.5-day experiential lab with Bill and his team." And he was very thoughtful about his response, but his response was, "Well, can't somebody else do this?" I said, "No, nobody else can do this. It's you. You are the leader. You are the president. You need to go. Because if you go and you discover deep insights about what we need to do to meaningfully drive substantive change in a culture of inclusion, it will unlock the team's ability to do that." And I'm very happy to say that he and I began a journey with that leadership team that I'm very proud of. So after he said yes, I left the room not really knowing for sure if this was going to work, because I'd never been through the 3.5-day experiential process with Bill. I was really betting a lot on the fact that we had had such a powerful experience in those first 4 hours, but it was definitely a career risk. And I really felt the risk when we were in the session, because the way that Bill designs the 3.5-day experience is to slow everybody down in order to accelerate the work. Well, slowing leaders down, I remember thinking in this moment when I could see my president getting agitated that, well, it's been nice working here. But, just kind of hanging with that sense of discomfort and letting him do his own work rather than feeling like I had to manage it was part of my own lesson. And I'm very proud because he not only stayed, but then he went back and he really began to lead the work in a different way, in a much more substantive and meaningful way. Companies' quantitative and qualitative results were out of this world. Their market cap tripled within a number of different years. And I know that they just were recently recognized as one of the top diversity companies in the country to work for. So incredibly proud to have been a small part of the journey for an amazing company. The only way we drive substantive and meaningful change is by getting after the systemic barriers that are impacting inclusion for everybody.